And speaking of football, what's the update on Damar Hamlin?
Oh, okay.
The guy who collapsed on Monday Night
Football, Cincinnati and Buffalo.
Had a cardiac arrest.
That's what they call it. That's what they're calling it, cardiac arrest on the field. Completely passed out. I mean, it was an amazing thing to watch. There's so many underlying stories
sad.
to this.
Yeah. Weird.
He's in the hospital now, in a induced coma. Still on a vent.
Vitals are good.
Vitals are good, and the family, the uncle has spoken, his manager has spoken. They're all optimistic.
Sure.
But I don't know what optimistic means.
Now, see, the uncle mentioned that he had another cardiac arrest.
Said that twice. He had one on the field when they brought him back to
weird.
life, and then they again at the hospital.
Right, which would lead us to believe that maybe it isn't
Commodio mortis.
Right.
Or commodio cordis.
Cordis.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the impact one.
Yeah.
One time.
You get impacted with, in this case, like a helmet or shoulder
Right.
pads. I'm not sure what hit him in the heart, but at the wrong time in the wrong place can
Millisecond.
cause this to happen.
Right.
But if it happened twice, that would seem to. So I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of.
I mean, I don't know either. It
don't know.
It was horrible, but I mean.
But he's 24 years old and
now-
healthy and has a heart attack or a cardiac arrest. It's not reasonable. Something weird is going on there.
Yeah, and
Really?
on a team that had the GM say that if it came down to a player who was vaccinated or not, he would cut the unvaccinated player.
Well, that's a
Oh,
weird
yeah.
non sequitur that you just
What?
brought up. The
My
the
gosh!
vaccine.
Oh yeah, no, I was
Weird.
talking about the GM. We were talking about the Buffalo Bills, right?
Yeah.
No, there's another theory that is floating around there from world-renowned cardiologist Peter McCullough, and this clip started making the rounds.
Okay.
After the original diagnosis came out. Watch this. Remember, this is recorded before this incident happened on Monday Night Football.
Oh.
Consider this as a possibility.
Okay.
What we've learned is the highest risk group is age 18 to 24. In men, 90% of these cases are young men, as shown by Scharf and colleagues in the preprint server system. And then a report by Gill and colleagues from Connecticut coroners, backed up by analyses from the University of Michigan and the University of Wisconsin Pathology, published in one of the best pathology journals, Archives of Pathology. 2 young boys, 16 and 17, they take Pfizer and they die on days 3 and 4 after the Pfizer shot. They're found dead at home. And the parents are horrified and they call for an autopsy. And the autopsies show, indeed, the kids died of vaccine-induced myocarditis. But the interesting finding is the histopathology looked like there was an overlay of what's called catecholamine toxicity. There must have been a surge of adrenaline. Now, this may have been from antecedent athletic activity, we don't know, or it could just be in the throes of dying, the struggle of these boys. They died at home, their parents weren't there, struggling for the last breaths of life before they died of the vaccine. That could have been the surge of catecholamines. But lead investigator, Dr. Flavio Catagiani from Brasilia, Brazil, I just interviewed him on the McCullough report. He believes it's perfectly consistent with the hypothesis that the vaccine sets up the heart inflammation, which can be very subtle. In fact, some of it can have no symptoms whatsoever. And then it's the big surge of adrenaline during a soccer game or during a basketball game, during sports, that's triggering these deaths. And boy, that theory fits. And he has a paper out in the preprint server system outlining how that really happens. And now, today, it's on my Twitter feed. There's a school physician office that said that no child will play until they have blood tests to see if they have heart inflammation. So now the vaccine is creating extra medical procedures, even for clearance before athletics. And now 3 countries, certainly in Canada, Hospital for Sick Children, the UK, as well as Australia, the governmental authorities have issued guidelines for doctors, largely cardiologists like myself, to follow for screening, detection, and management of vaccine-induced myocarditis. It's as if this heart damage occurring with the vaccines is now becoming a normal part of medical life for cardiologists.
Yep.
Okay. At least, let's have the discussion. Could we at least just talk about it? And, maybe get a panel of experts together and discuss it. Why is this so crazy to think of? Because it's been reported many, many times by a lot of different people, and including this physician who's a legitimate doctor.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dr. Malone just posted a big story making the case. he made the case that against and for, so he has both sides. But it's a strong case.
Sudden cardiac deaths in athletes, all right? On average, from 1966 to 2004, 2.4 per month. Sudden cardiac deaths in athletes, 2.4 per month on average. 2021 and 2022, 46.4 per month. Sudden cardiac death in athletes. That says something there.
Whoa.
What has changed? What's changed in the last 2 years as opposed to the previous 50? Anything come to mind?
Well, climate change.
Climate change,
That
right.
comes immediately
Climate
to
change.
mind.
Oh,
So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Climate change is killing a lot of athletes.
We don't have bee-friendly highways.
There we
Know
go.
that.
See,
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Thank you.
Know that.
Clearly what it is.
No bee-friendly highways.
Yeah.
And climate change.
And I will say that I accidentally, I promise you, this was a complete accident. This morning, the printer just kept going and going. I'm like, what is going on over there? I accidentally, where I was printing up that stat about the deaths per month average thing, I only wanted that one page. Well, anyway, it ended up printing up all of these deaths, okay? You see about, I don't know, 6 or 7 per page. All of this, all the deaths in the last 2 years alone, less than 2 years. This actually starts in March of 2021. Of all these athletes that have died in different sports competition, different runners, different soccer players, baseball, basketball,
Really?
it goes on around the world. They're all right here. And
If anything makes the case for bee-friendly highways, it's that right there.
Thank you.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
dang climate change gets us everywhere. Remember what they tried to sell us on, though, Pat? I think we talked about this in overtime. Was, the particles in the air are really causing this sudden adult death syndrome. SADS is from the particles in the air. We got to clean the air, more climate change control, because that's what's killing off people early. Shut up.
Okay, that haven't been said. So he's, the family is optimistic for Damar.
Okay.
We don't know really. I know. We don't know what is optimistic that he wakes
Recovers.
up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know, but I mean, does he wakes up and that he walks out of the hospital?
Well,
that
yeah.
he plays football again. That I mean, what line of optimistic
Just that he's
are we
okay.
at? You know.
At least be okay. That's
So we've that game that they were in the middle of, or in the first quarter on, is just no more now. The
Well,
NFL
they
has
paused
said,
it. We don't know when it's going to. Yeah,
it's not going to happen this week,
Right.
and we're supposed to pick up play this week for week 18 of the NFL.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about. There's 2 games on Saturday and the rest are on Sunday.
Right.
They haven't said anything about those.
Well, they said they were going to play them.
That's
they said
confirmed.
those games were on, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
those games are on, as far as they weren't pausing this.
Are you going to cancel the season for this?
I mean, that's my thing. Okay, so I'm gonna be careful here. Okay, because
so you're self-editing?
we're not on that overtime.
Wow.
We're not on the sponsored Blaze TV.
Uh-huh.
So
You want to gather your thoughts there? Because I got
Yes.
something fun
Yeah.
here while you
Okay,
gather
go
your
ahead.
thoughts here.
Yeah, no,
I love this. CNN, I got this notification yesterday morning. CNN sends out this story, and it's about Damar, right?
Okay.
First paragraph. Heart disease is a leading killer around the world and the top cause of death in the United States. It killed an estimated 17.9 million people in 2019, representing 32% of all deaths globally. A 24-year-old athlete in prime physical condition, heart
no
disease.
indication he has heart disease.
Stop it, CNN. Stop it.
Come on. Get a healthy 24-year-old athlete, elite athlete. You won't explore any other option?
No one will talk about it. No one will talk
And Damar
about
Hamlin, man, just from every account, he's such a good guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
and he
my
started
gosh.
that toy drive for kids
Yes.
back in college. His goal was $2,500. I think on the day of the game, he was at $5,000 for the toys for kids.
Yeah,
It's
well,
now
his manager
six-
said we got to do so. We
over
got to start
$6
promoting
million.
that. We got to start promoting that again because he needs money. He wanted
Yeah.
to get the thing going
Christmas
again.
time.
It's now at $6 million.
Right. I mean, that's because look,
Incredible.
as the racist country that we are here in the United States of America,
Right.
we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So this is something that we can do to show that we care and we love this guy and we want him to recover, and we're thoughts and prayers and hopes are all with
Thinking about
and
him,
his
praying
family.
for him.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, and that proves what a racist country we are.
Yeah, because has every single white person donated? No.
I don't think so.
No, not every person in
I
America.
don't think so.
Proves positive.
I
there.
know.
Racists.
He just
Racists.
he indulged your point there, didn't he?
Okay, so
Oh, did you
let's
gather
get
your
back to the
thoughts?
NFL.
Here we go.
I'm
We got your
close.
thoughts here on the NFL.
We're just going to shut it down?
No,
We're just going to shut it down? I mean,
can't
players
imagine.
have been paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen bones come out of bodies. I mean, Bronco Nagurski crawled back onto the field with just a torso. We've been told that on this very show.
That's a fact right there.
Yeah. He pulled himself out by his
And
teeth.
thank you.
Yeah. And they still played the game.
Well, the two
And they
teeth that he had
still
left.
played
right.
the game.
Right.
I mean, it was just incredible.
Well, we talked
that
about
they stopped the game.
on Glenn's show when we were filling in yesterday. Stu talked about a guy who died in, I think he said the 50s, but it was actually 1971.
Yeah.
Chuck Hughes.
Chuck Hughes died on the field
On the
with
field.
the Detroit Lions. They finished the game.
Yeah.
So,
And we've seen ambulance. I mean, this was a horrible incident.
Yeah.
And players don't normally see life recovery efforts on the field.
Mhm.
So I understand how shocking that was. And I do,
Nearly
I-
10 minutes.
right. Well,
of
I mean,
CPR.
when it was a long time. And, their reaction, I thought he was dead. And technically he was. But, I mean, I thought
momentarily.
the look on their faces was,
Yeah.
I thought for sure.
Well,
it was,
players are praying and crying, and it was really something.
I don't fault the NFL for stopping that game.
No,
for the
that's
night.
great. I thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Nobody,
Mm-hmm.
no one was going to play that game. The game, was. I know we've had the fight over the 5 minutes, the Joe Buck talking.
Get
whatever,
over it.
whatever.
Even if that's true,
Whatever.
get
So
over
what?
it. They
It didn't happen.
eventually made the right decision.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So
what?
shut up. Who cares?
Right.
That's just a stupid argument.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way that the players were going to play. Everyone watching the game knew that the game was over. The fans were in the stands knew the game was over. They were there to praying for him, praying for Damar.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it was, the game wasn't going to happen anymore. And so I was just, I realize that it's a horrible thing that happened, but let's play ball.
Yeah, I think.
When do you
well,
do the
and
game, do you think?
This game,
If you're the
this
NFL.
game, I don't think they can.
Well, they could push the playoffs back a week because they've got the 2-week
We've got
break.
the Pro Bowl
So you could actually play this game and they'll
And just shift everything back. a
shift
week.
everything back 1 week.
for one game. I mean, the game for seeding wise means a
Yeah.
lot, but I feel like the NFL and I think any team now.
I think you let the
if the-
teams decide,
Yeah,
right?
the team
You
will say.
let the teams
will
vote?
say if you don't play, the seeding stays the way it
We'll
is
call
right
it a
now.
tie.
We just where it is right now, where your standings were right now is where you're at. First, second, and third, because Kansas City I think is first, right, and then Cincinnati and Buffalo, right, 1, 2, 3. Anyway,
I'd have to check.
and whatever way the seeding is, that's where we're at. Move on,
You could do that.
and the teams will.
So
there's
you're
not,
telling-
there's no team that's going to say no to that.
So Cincinnati and Buffalo play their games as scheduled this Sunday too.
Yeah.
Which are also very important.
I know.
For playoffs as far as their opponents and everything go. But yeah, I mean, I think you let the teams vote, man, how they want to proceed, and let them dictate.
It's not a democracy.
The
It's the NFL. Move
Okay.
on. Okay.
It's weird though. You got people coming for the NFL. They're trying to shut it down.
I know.
Yes.
Between this and the concussion situation,
And the NFL, look, I don't work for the NFL, but I mean they've done big steps into keeping people safe on the field.
They have.
and they've tried to do, a lot of things to keep people safe. And now they're saying, they told everybody they had to hit players in their torso, and now we're saying, well, we can't hit them in the torso because it might give them a heart attack. It might have a sudden cardiac event. Oh, okay.
yep.
I guess we're flagged.
I mean, they've done what they can do. I think.
Right.
For
See, that's the
safety
thing.
reasons.
We
They've
all
done what they can
appreciate
do.
what a violent, terrible game it is, and the violent thing that could happen to anyone playing the sport. I mean, I lost my retirement plan thanks to violence of this sport.
I see.
Right. Right. And
don't
your
know.
son's
Referring
knee
to you,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So he wasn't able to have
Why
a
you're laughing, but
pro
this is
career.
a fact.
Right. I know. No, we're not laughing.
We
We know
feel
you're
bad.
serious about that.
For
Me
you.
too.
For you. For you.
Heck with Elvis. We feel badly that
Thank you.
he couldn't fund your activities.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
It'll go fund me.